Hi, this is Ryan Block from Engadget, and today we are going to be taking a look at the LG Prada Phone, which we just so happened to get our hands on. So let's go through the menus and get this thing started. I'm going to turn this thing on. We'll wait for the boot up sound. There it is. So as you'll notice, that is a pretty fast boot up for a phone. I guess there's not a lot going on here. We'll take a look at the sides. We've got the lock button on there, the camera button as well, which takes you over to the camera, 2 megapixel. And then on the left side, you've got volume, OK, and the headphone power port. On the bottom, you've got the select button, call, and in power. Very slick, very slim design. Now, when the keypad's locked, you can't actually do anything to it since it's all touchscreen, so you have to hit that unlock button right there. And one of the first things you'll notice is the clock is actually movable. You can drag that clock wherever you want it to be. And as you'll see later, that clock is actually able to be made a digital and other kinds of clocks. So I'm going to set this time here, just kind of fooling around so you can check it out. And let's go to the first menu screen. So this is kind of the call and messaging menu screen. We'll go straight into dialing. You can see that very familiar dialing interface. It doesn't actually give you the 12 key with alpha, but if we start up a new text message, that's when it comes in. And you've got T9 on there. I'm just going to type around and show you what happens. We all know how T9 works. I'm going to cancel out of this. Fortunately, not everything is clickable. I'm going to try saving a contact. Just kind of walk through this, see how saving a contact goes on this device. You can select phone or SIM. Dragging is kind of an interesting motion. It doesn't have that sticky rubber band feeling that the iPhone has, but it is pretty decent to touch. That is when it does properly track your finger. It does not always. Let's go into contacts. Obviously there are no contacts on here, so I'm going to create a new one. Punch in a number here. So now I've got a contact. Go into some settings. Gives you an auto delete and an auto copy, which is convenient if you're moving around phones. And you've also got speed dials and groups, which is pretty much the norm. So I'm going to set that contact I just created as a speed dial. Pretty easy. I mean, they don't make this very difficult for users to just jump right in. This is actually the first time I've ever played with this phone. So I'm going to add AJ as a member. Again, very, very easy to do this stuff. Almost no learning curve. So I'll go into the call history. Look at these charges. Just a couple of minutes call time on this thing. Looks like somebody needs to start using it. We'll go into the messaging app now. You can see you've got email, text, multimedia. Fortunately, I can't go into email without setting up a whole account, so we're not going to do that. Get a couple of options here. Probably worth noting that text messaging, you only get the 12 key with alpha. You don't actually get the keyboard. So we started the camera app here. You can see that it's actually fairly responsive, especially for having full-size camera on screen as the viewfinder. Now, one thing with the camera app that I've been seeing is that it's got a few too many options, I think, right out of the bat. This, initial camera interface isn't so bad, but once we kind of delve deeper, you can see all of the fun stuff that you can do, which might be slightly overwhelming for newer users. Of course, once you learn all the icons and the quality, white balance, whatnot, it's actually going to be pretty fast to get through. I mean, normally with the camera, it takes a little bit of effort to go in and set the white balance and set the picture quality. So let's jump out of here. So we already looked at the camera and the camcorder. Let's look at the voice recorder. This is pretty easy to get started. Records into MP3, which is nice. I'm just going to delete that. And we'll look at the MP3 player. This is actually a really cool MP3 app. Easy to slide up the volume. It's funny how many of these design concepts made it into both the LG and the iPhone. It's that shuffle, repeat. Or you can also set the MP3 as your ringtone, which is very cool. Not entirely sure that Apple is going to do that with the iPhone. Fortunately, you can't just drag along and skip into another part of the track. You have to actually use the fast forward, rewind buttons. But nothing's perfect. You've also got a skin option on here, which is cool, in addition to the usual equalizer. Let's go to the white skin. I actually kind of like this one better. Now, like the MP3 player app, the entire phone is actually skinnable. So the interface that we're looking at right now is the black skin interface, but if you go to one of the others, it also has a very kind of Apple-esque interface that we saw actually before the iPhone was ever even announced. We'll see that in a bit. And it's also got some games on here. I'm not actually going to subject you to my awful gameplay abilities, so I'm just going to quit that.